You wait months for a first away win, then two come along at once. Argyle have never had any at the Pirelli until Saturday. As away days goes, that is probably right up there as one of the best for Argyle fans in recent history. 4-0, a biggest away victory for 11 years, and as mentioned right at the start, a first win at Burton. This is Argyle Analysis. Mondays are always better when you can analyse a win, and Aaron Cusack has that feeling with me in the studio right now. Happy Mondays, eh?
Oh, we love them, don't we? We really do love them because we can stay positive, we can showcase all the good things that went well. I got the 3 points. And the fact that it's back-to-back away victories as well makes it even sweeter. Yeah,
absolutely. Stringing them together and, impressive performances all round, strikers, forwards, scoring goals.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You want your front line firing on all cylinders. I was really happy for all three of them to get goals because they want to push each other. They vie for positions, but the fact that we changed shape a little bit, two of them started, one come off the bench and scored, it just kind of, captured the collection that we want going forward.
Yeah, there's a lot to get through, and we'll start with the goals, as we always do. 4 of them to get through, and all of them, Aaron, brilliantly worked, I thought.
Brilliant. I really did think that they were well-worked goals, and there's a theme that we'll cover a little bit later, but the way that they worked the ball with, for me, precision, incisiveness, and the way that they were ruthless, Charlie, in that red zone area. We've spoken about the red zone area for the last 3 months now, but really getting into the moments that matter the most and scoring with significance. Talai getting the ball rolling, and then not long into the first half as well, Asani getting his 5th goal for the club since his arrival at the start of the season. And what I liked is just on that end line, just a poacher's finish, and lots of the goals were of that ilk, but this one for me was the best finish. So Talai, the fact that he's able to maintain control of the ball under significant pressure, doesn't allow the keeper to set himself because of the way that he moves his feet, shifts it and hits it in one motion. And then Bin Peppel getting his first league goal coming off the bench towards, I think it was the 80-odd minute. Barley Mumble with the assist, and he'll be really happy with that, Bin Peppel. That's 2 and 2 for him in terms of the week. But the fact that all three of them significantly contributed to the game, and not only that, I felt that the running players, the wide players, the midfielders also contributed really well, made for a real great outcome.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'll look at that 4 goals scored, and you'll immediately think of the forward players, and that will be a real pleasing moment, I'd imagine, won't it, for Tom Cleverley and for the players themselves. But to think, well, all of my strikers are scoring at the minute.
Absolutely, and they're all similar finishes, so it showcases their understanding of each other and what's expected of them in those roles. And you have to give credit to all three of them. What you want, let's fast forward to Christmas, for example. You'd love to see all three of them on 8, 9, 12 goals because it means that they're sharing the load. When you rely on one person to score your goals and they go through a bit of a drought, it becomes more pressuring. But if you've got others in the wings that are going to support and contribute as well, it just adds to the collection.
I'm not necessarily putting them on the same level, but when you go back to the last time we were in League One, won promotion, won the league, over 100 points. You had Hardy, you had Ennis, you had Cosgrove, you had players scoring goals, and you had the Whitakers and Hazards as well. But, you know, those forward players were contributing and sharing goals out. It wasn't one that was like up at 19, 20. It was all sort of, 10, 12, 13, 14.
And I think they would prefer to have that. If you've got 4 or 5 players all chipping in with 6 to 10 goals each, there's 60 goals there. You know, it adds up. And then it means, like I've already said, you don't rely on one source all the time. It means others contribute. And as well as that, Charlie, they start to push each other because they're competitive. They want the best for each other. But as a collective, they also want to score goals for themselves. But it means if you're scoring, I want to score, and then it's a healthy environment to be part of.
Why were Argyle successful then in terms of getting into attacking areas and scoring goals?
Well, they were a lot more cutting. We made reference last week against Peterborough that they weren't as cutting, but this is in the second minute. I love the fact that they were incisive. Law McCabe on the front foot. They went forward with energy, intensity and intent. And as a result, they were getting lots of moments. So what we're going to do is break down a series of moments here. Look at Bradley Ibrahim. We've got him identified here. He doesn't just ball watch and admire and stay level or below the ball. He's going to run beyond. And we've spoken week after week about the importance of breaking that last line. So Sorinola knows that, look. So this is early in the game. Break, get territory, get up the pitch, keep the ball moving. We've sped it up for the purpose of the moment because it stays in here. As they start to work the ball, so Ross is in control, it's Bradley Ibrahim again creating an opportunity for Wiradou to break another line. So Ibrahim, that was clearly him and Boateng, their task, to break with intent, to make the decision of the ball carrier easy. As a result, you play a ball in. What I love then, look, Burton are all being ushered and concentrate on the ball. Boateng is out of the eye line. He arrives late. What a brilliant save. People say he should score, but a terrific save, taking nothing away from the goalkeeper. And that was the theme of the afternoon, working the ball left and right. This is the first goal. So what we're going to talk about Boateng, but I'm also going to talk about Talai. Look at his positioning. He's in between the two centre-halves, but he's actually blind side of the central centre-half as well. And there's a moment that we'll return to in a second. What I like here, that we've spoken about it previously, of not recognising it. We've had it previously with Ibrahim. Mumba and Boateng on the same wavelength. I'm going to break the line, says Boateng. Mumba's going to slide him in. Now, right-hand side here, look at Talai. He's now ball side of that defender. So he switched him off out of the eye line. Now he's arriving with pace. So all Boateng has to do is put the ball in that area neatly, just pass it in, and he uses his momentum to score clinically, and it's a really good example. Law McCabe, who's settling in really well. Look at him. He's looking out. Now we've got Mumba, who's out of the viewfinder here, but he's looking forward and he's creating an opportunity for Mumba to break beyond, and this is what they did so much better. More cutting, more threatening, and as a result you keep the ball moving. Second half, early in the second half, little look forward. Bradley Ibrahim this time knows where the pressure is, but wants Asani in this instance to run into that channel ball. There we are. He plays it over the top. It invites him to get good territory, maintains possession. Now 2 minutes later, same thing again. As a result, there's a threat. Burton drop. So you got 2 up top in Asani and Talai, who pose that threat. So that will naturally force Burton to want to drop. What I love is Bradley Ibrahim's endeavour and anticipation to get the second phase. He's actually second best here, but within a fraction, he's actually first best. Because we've already got 2 players high on that line, they don't have to do much. Bradley Ibrahim closes the gap, lends it into Talai, who then sets and shifts in one motion, hence why the keeper can't set himself. And this is a continuing theme all afternoon, Charlie. And then Mitchell, even the defenders are at it. He has a little look. It's not a case of receiving the ball and then thinking. It's about looking forward, thinking forward, playing forward. We've got 2 already on that last line. Talai pointing. Mumba recognises it. This would have been his hat-trick. He'll be disappointed he didn't work the keeper. And there was lots of themes that were similar, like minute after minute. Going to give a lot of credit here to Barley Mumba. Look at his body shape. His body shape is looking to run forward with intent. Doesn't go to him, but because he's already there, him and Bin Peppel can combine neatly for Bin Peppel to get his first league goal and second goal in the week. And then our final one is right-hand side. Look at Tegan Finn, young player, saying to Caleb Robert play into Wiradoo because he's trying to set the moment up. Finn has a little look now to see where his nearest pressure is. Here's that last line that we've been focusing on. And now watch, he changes his intensity. So what he does is he makes Wiradoo's mind up by making a little diagonal blindside run for a slide rule ball. He'd be disappointed he didn't get better contact, but the intention all afternoon was being a lot more cutting on that top line.
Right, let's finish today by having a look at the other results from the weekend. Really interesting one. Stevenage still absolutely flying, as are AFC Wimbledon, right at the top of the table, getting a really important victory at home. Luton getting back to winning ways. Peterborough, who beat Argyle last weekend, losing to Lincoln, who are flying. Northampton beating Bolton. Wigan losing at Cardiff, and of course Wigan come to Home Park next weekend. All of that means that the top of the table is maybe not what we would have expected with Bradford, Stevenage and Lincoln in the top three. Wimbledon in those playoff places as well. There's the bottom half of the table, but it's very congested in that middle area. Burton do stay bottom. They play Cardiff on Tuesday night. But it goes to show, you know, a win here and there, a little bit of a run getting together, and you can fly up that table because, you know, Argyle, what are they, 7 points or something off the playoffs? It's very early in the season, but, you know, you can move big places if you get a couple of wins.
Yeah, if you get a couple of back-to-backs, which is what I think they'll be striving for now. We've, you know, 1-2 on the road now. We've had some decent victories at home. They want to put to bed the needless losses, of course. And it's not like the top three are running away with it and everyone else is playing catch-up. Like you said, it's all quite congested. So if you win a couple in a row and results go your way, then you're in those higher echelons of the league. So, you know, they would want to be higher, but at least they're now showing more promise going forward.